Okay, so China Daily, as we all know, put out one of these. They love to latch on to, like, they'll find a random, this is like a random exchange student or something who knows how long they've been in China.
It says no, she's an NGO worker.
Oh, she's an NGO worker?
It says right
Are
there.
you sure?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Literally
Sorry.
says that in Chinese. Anyway,
No, you're absolutely right. But they'll find some random foreigner who's in China for a little program or a little something.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I've never seen homeless people in China. And for some reason, Chinese state media thinks that that person's opinion is so important just because they happen to be a foreigner.
Because it lines up with what they're trying to say.
Yes.
Even if maybe she hasn't, right? And that's fine. I'm not saying she's
but
lying.
how long? I mean, has she been there long?
It doesn't matter, right?
Been
The fact
anywhere?
that they choose people randomly because that's exactly what they're trying to put out there right now.
You know what? I never saw a panda in China. I didn't. I did go to Chengdu, but I didn't go to that.
I saw the pandas,
sanctuary.
but you didn't.
No, because
So
I didn't
there you
want to go to a tourist thing. I spent 14 years in China. I traveled around the whole of China by motorcycle and by train and by plane. I never saw pandas. So guess what? There are no pandas in China.
They don't exist.
So why doesn't Chinese state media take me saying that and put it out there? This foreigner says there's no pandas in China. Amazing.
You never saw them, so it's not real.
They don't exist.
No.
There are no pandas
That's the
in
same
China.
logic.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
I've seen thousands of homeless people
Oh,
in China.
dude.
Where's my quote, China Daily?
Yeah, exactly.
Foreign man, Lauai86 says that he's seen thousands of homeless people in China. Where's the quote? Where's my interview?
Yeah, exactly. Foreign Man Serpent Today filmed hundreds of homeless people. Yes. And I've got proof and I've shown it. Anyway, so China Daily says, I have never seen homeless people in hashtag
blah,
China.
blah. Yeah.
Very surprising, blah, 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 all this nonsense, the usual kind of garbage, right? See, it is like a youth festival. What is it? I feel like that NGO thing's a bunch of BS.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You feel like that, but it could be real. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's a completely out
of
context
quote.
It's
some random girl who said, "Oh, in my 3 hours that I've been here."
Maybe it's true. I don't care. I'm not disparaging what she said.
So anyway, William Ferris came along and said, she's surprised by homelessness in the U.S. She must never have read a U.S. newspaper. Yeah. She's not seeing homelessness in the PRC. She must be staying in the government's Potemkin bubble. Exactly. Some of my photos, all taken in Beijing inside the Third Ring Road, which means that's in the central part.
The rich people live.
So, we didn't show his whole thing, but he's got...
This is the part where they get rid of all the homeless people.
Yes. It is the most important, from an optics point of view, because all the tourists go there, so they get rid of the homeless people. But this dude's like, these are some of my own personal photos of homeless people.
He's a great account, by the way.
Yeah, he's great.
You should follow him.
Yeah. So he put a whole bunch of photos, you don't see them all there, of homeless people in China.
I put it on the next slide.
Oh, you did put it on the next slide? Okay, cool. So this is like, these are some of my photos.
I mean, now times this by 10,000 when you go anywhere else where they don't clean up the homeless people. Because
don't forget, like the Third Ring Road, they clean it up.
Yes.
They will literally go and pick them up, put them on a bus and take them out. So there it is, in homeless people in the subway, homeless people on the side of the road.
These are his photos.
These are his own personal photos. We can attest to this because I've also got lots of personal photos of homeless people in China too, which I took, and video clips. So how do you think the CCP shills are going to react to this?
I think they're going to say that it's immoral to take photos of homeless people.
That's exactly.
They're so rich when they say that.
Yeah, so this we cut out. We don't want you to see the account, but this is a very prolific propagandist for Chinese, for China, for the CCP. They said, they replied to him, they said, why are you walking around Beijing taking photos of homeless people, dude? Come on. Would you do this in Taiwan or the US? You can't make a point about using homeless people as a political tool by using homeless people as a political tool.
What? Bro! Next slide, please.
Yeah.
All right, just a little taste. If you want to see what a country does to politicize homeless people, it ain't the USA.
No.
And it ain't England, and it's not wherever you're from.
Yeah.
It's China. Chinese state media posts hundreds of things just this year about how many homeless people there are in America.
Correct.
They did something called CGTN America. So, by the way, CGTN's allowed to operate an American branch of Chinese state propaganda media.
Yeah.
How do people not look at that and say America is the freaking freest country in the world?
Absolutely, if they allow a freaking enemy to do this.
An enemy adversarial propaganda department
to criticize them.
Criticize in America.
Yes.
And then go interview and film homeless people.
Yes, exactly.
They did a huge thing called Big Story, homeless inequality in the U.S. They post so let me read this.
Okay.
As California's urban crisis deepens, Big Story, this is Chinese state media, explores its most embattled city to understand the roots of its troubles? Can the Sunshine State turn itself around, or are we witnessing a slow and irreversible descent into an American dystopia?
Oh, but God forbid you take a picture of a homeless person in China, because then you're using homeless people as a political tool.
Homelessness is a political tool.
That's China's playbook.
你说你自己吗? Did you speak about yourself?
Yeah,
it drives
exactly.
me insane. Every shill, every Chinese state media account, every X account, every Twitter. I don't
yes, Twitter account.
I'm a boomer.
Yeah.
Every YouTube account puts out constant American homeless people, filming them.
And
pictures
Kensington
of them.
Avenue with like the drug addicts and stuff. They put it out all the time, but God forbid you put out a homeless person in China. Now you're bad because
now you're bad.
What are you doing?
That's immoral.
How dare you take a photo of them?
How dare you? Gosh, and what is this? What is this party that we call this?
Oh yeah, it's the America Bad Party.
At all costs.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just shows you how a narrative can be very easily made, because if you block anyone from doing or showing your faults, but you can constantly point out somebody else's fault freely and nobody stops you, it's easy for people to think, oh, China's great, there are no homeless people, but there are.
And they're so prolific.
There are more homeless people in China than there are in America.
That's for sure.
And the reason I can say that is 1.4 billion people, if only 0.1% of those people are homeless, it's more homeless people than in the entire America.
Can we look at the next part?
Sure.
I just want to show this.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a normal...
This just came out. Oh, what is this? Oh, homeless beggars in China. And I feel really bad for them. And their life sucks, right? But this is just taken the other day. Like,
yeah.
Does this not exist or what? Like...
Yeah, no, apparently there are no homeless people. We shouldn't use them as a political tool or whatever.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? That's only shills can do that for America. But you know what?
You can't point out the trials and tribulations. You know why? This is the ironic thing.
Yeah.
And sorry if I'm harping on too much about this, but in China, if you work for state media or you proselytize their message or whatever,
yes, if you're a shill.
If you're a shill. You specifically use homeless Americans, their pictures and their videos, for political gain.
That's the only reason you do it.
There's no other reason to do this.
You're like, look at the shiny new subway station, and this is America, and show a homeless person.
Yes. You're not trying to make America better. What you're doing in this scenario is trying to divide American public, because China wants the downfall of the U.S., and they're doing that not with missiles. They're doing that with social media posts.
Yes.
They want people to say, oh, it's dystopia in America, I hate it. They don't even have to, their goal isn't even to make China look like an alternative. Sure. Their goal is just to make you hate your own country.
Correct.
Right? That's a political tool.
Yeah.
That's the only reason this is happening. Sorry, guys, we figured you out. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you show
don't fall for it, by the way.
If you show homeless people in China and you say, this is the truth, the reason you're doing that is because you're not allowed to do it. So then there's no problem. Therefore, the problem is never solved, right?
Yes.
If they say there's no homeless people and there's no poverty and there's nothing bad happening in China, then nothing can actually be done to help those people.
Yeah, because nobody knows about it.
So in America, it's all over the news. Everyone sees the homeless people. Everyone knows about it. And then you have shills that are doing it for political gain. Then you have people like us or people that actually care about China and Chinese people that want to show the reality of the situation so that something might be able to be done by it.
Yeah.
And nothing can be done because now you're the enemy and you're a demon because you showed something that's not supposed to exist.
Exactly.
Homeless people and poverty in China is an inconvenience for the Chinese government. It is not anything other than that. It's an inconvenience and it's illegal to show it. Yeah. That's evil.
It is evil.
There's
and
two
it's
differences there.
Far worse than in the USA or any other country that I know of.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
Edit, dude.
It's so bad.
We cannot laugh at this.
I can, because
it's...
they made like a cartoon speech bubble. One dude
nice
came up to teach kindergarten when I was teaching at that kindergarten. He had cocaine on his nose. I had like Russian prostitutes in my class.
I've never met a sex pet that's like good to be around.
We snowboarded down Mount Everest or something. This guy's like a grown man.
Why?
It's like he's in his 20s telling me that he and his friend died on the way down and stuff. And I'm like, really?